Hello guys, how you doing? It's Mason here, and thank you for having me. Thank you for being with me. So this video, basically, I just want to try to have a little introduction to tarot card reading. And I think not far too long ago, I did announce on my page, Facebook page, that I'm going to be doing tarot card reading seriously, professionally, and obviously. This is just the beginning, so I just thought this video I'm going to make it as an introduction to the world of tarot cards, because there's so much myth associated with the tarot card reading. Most people are under the assumption that it is devilic, satanic, dark, occultic, something that is not good. So I just want to dispel some of the myth associated with the tarot card. So this is the purpose of this video, ladies and gentlemen. And the other thing I just want to say, I'm going to have a special page that's going to be designated to tarot card reading and the tarot card teachings reading. So before I even get into tarot card itself, I just want to give you a little background of myself. I'm somebody who is very, very metaphysical, very spiritual. I'm somebody who's always been interested in something that transcends the physical. Okay, I'm somebody who's always researching information and researching into things that are spiritual. And really, that's what tarot card is, because tarot card is just a form of divination. And there are so many various forms of divination. Prayer is a form of divination. Astrological chart is a form of divination. Palm reading is a form of divination. Reiki is a form of divination. Prayer is a form of divination. Yoga is a form of divination. There are so many various forms of divinations, and the tarot card is just one of them. Tarot card just uses cards, but really the purpose, it still serves the same purpose. Because what is divination? Divination is a tapping into your higher self, tapping into your higher spiritual self. Because we all know that it's all about mind, body, and spirit. That is the Holy Trinity. And there is also the soul. So that makes it four. But really the Holy Trinity is mind, body, and soul. And our body really is just an avatar. It is just a physical body that is used by the mind to experience things in this physical dimension. But it is the spirit that really turbocharges everything that are happening into your life. So it is the spirit really that is on the driving seat, but it is your mind that tells your body and everything that you're going to be doing how to experience. So thoughts, thinking, and everything happens in your mind, and it is your mind that makes the body follow. So really it is your spirit that guides everything, but your mind is the one that's dictating through thoughts and thinking what your body is going to be experiencing. So why am I telling you all of this, ladies and gentlemen? All of these things are interlinked to tarot card reading, because your spirit, our higher self, is always trying to communicate, trying to pass on messages, trying to guide you so that you can follow the right path of life, okay? So that you can do the right thing at the right time. But most of the time, we are often oblivious to these messages that are being passed on to us. And this is, we have created some kind of a net, a defensive mechanism where the messages or the communication that is coming from our higher self is not being filtered through to our psyche, to our self, okay, to our real self. So most of the time we go according to our ego and our consciousness. We are always reacting to what's happening around us instead of listening to our higher self. Okay, so this is where tarot cards come, ladies and gentlemen. Tarot cards, it literally it is your spirit, your higher self, trying to guide you, trying to tell you, trying to enlighten you, trying to put a light into your dark journey, into your dark situation. Is trying to tell you what to do. And most of the time, we are often oblivious here. So by tapping to the tarot cards, we are understanding the psychological patterns that are happening into our lives, and by reflecting to those psychological patterns, which are essentially archetypes, by reflecting to those archetypes, then we can understand where we're coming from, where we are, and where possibly we might be heading to. So when we're talking about these psychological patterns or archetypes, these are actually encoded in the tarot cards themselves. Okay, so a tarot card really essentially is it's an image. It's a symbolic, metaphorical, esoterical, mythological image which is trying to explain something to you. Okay, because you have to understand that the world of spirit, the spirit is the form of communication of spirit is in symbols. So when the spirit is talking to us, it talks to us in symbols, and most of the time we need something that can tell us to interpret the symbols, the metaphorical, the allegorical, and the esoterical symbols that we get in trying to put it into sense. That's why we always need to remember and to pay attention to our dreams, because when you are sleeping, it is your subconscious mind or your higher self experiencing certain situations. So by remembering dreams, which are just literally symbols, allegorical, mythological, and esoterical symbols, that's what the dream is really. And by interpreting the dream, it is your higher self trying to communicate to you. So I just thought I'd give you a little background of what tarot card is all about. We all know that everything is energy. And if everything that you see around you is energy, and energy cannot be divided, energy cannot be destroyed, energy cannot be separated. So essentially, there is only one. There is only one. There is no division. You, me, you and him, you and her. There is no separation. There is no division. Everything is one. We are all interlinked. Okay, our physical self is just an avatar. It's just an expression of energy, really. But really, nothing is separated. So our physical self is just an expression in the physical form of energy. It's a manifestation of energy, but underlying everything else is just one. That's why whenever they say do some meditation, go within. When you're going within, they always say this. When if you ask a yoga master, if you ask somebody who do meditation, they will tell you need to go within. What does that mean? When you are going within, you are literally losing your ego, losing your individual self, because your individual self really it's artificial. It's not real. It's just a matrix, really. But your real self is oneness. That's why you need to go deeper, detach yourself from what you think and who you think you are, and go deep where there is no thinking, no separation, because time and space is just an illusion. It's a construct of the human mind. But really, there is no time and there is no space. We are all one. And we are all just expressions, individual expressions of the one energy. So why am I telling you all of these things, all these metaphysical, transcendental things? Because I'm trying to explain to you, this is why tarot cards are very, very important. Because encoded and encrypted on the tarot cards themselves is a psychological pattern. Okay, a psychological pattern that is like almost frozen in time, but literally trying to tell you what you are going through, what you've been through, why you are where you are, and where you might be or you could be if you take the right actions and the right decisions. So this is where tarot cards thankfully come to serve us, ladies and gentlemen. They are very, very essential. There is nothing devilic about them. There is everything spiritual about them. This is just a spiritual tool trying to communicate, trying to help you to understand what your higher self is trying to talk to you. So in tarot cards, you have to understand the tarot card reader, which will be me in this case. I do not have anything to do with the cards or what card you choose. My job really, essentially, is to literally interpret what's written on the card. Because you, the querent, was asking a question about your love life, your job, your job interview, your finances, your health, your welfare, or whatever that you are querying about. I'm going to try to interpret what your spirit is saying. Because your spirit, like I say to you, spirit, what is spirit? Spirit is a pure energy. That's what spirit is. And we talked about this, that energy is one. So really, it is your energy self trying to tell you information. But most of the time, because of our ego and because of so much clutter in our psyche, we do not get this message infiltrated into ourselves. So we are lost. Most of the time, we are just a fool in a journey. Yeah, just a fools in a journey. And we do not understand where we are coming from. Sometimes we need that guidance. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the joy, and this is how exciting tarot cards are, because they are trying to enlighten you on what's really going on. Because our physical self, everything that happens in this physical dimension, it's just an illusion. It's just a shadow of really your spiritual self. It is your spiritual self that is the reality, that is what's going on in life. But most of the time we aren't we aren't privy to that, because we associate ourselves so much with our physical self. But it is our spiritual self that we need to tap into, you know. And I think this is the best time really to talk about tarot cards and to refer to tarot cards and to consult tarot card, because I mean, after what we've been through for the past 18 months, we've been through so much emotional roller coaster. Our mental health has been put into question. Our spiritual self has been tampered with. So really, we need to tap into something that can give us guidance, something that can give us solace, something that can give us a peace of mind, something that can teach us where we need to do and what choices we need to make. Do you know, because everybody has been through a lot for the past 18 months. So I think tarot card is an exciting, it's a revival of tarot card, really. It's a revival thing that we need to tap in back to it. So it is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to come here and trying to explain to you and trying to guide you, trying to help you. I'm not saying I'm an expert, I'm an authority, but this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to help people, and I've always been interested into divination arts. I've always interested into spiritual stuff, transcendental stuff, things that are beyond the physical stuff, you know, metaphysical stuff. I've always been interested in that. So really, this is right my alley. That's why you see me with a big smile on my face, and I can do this for anybody, and I can try it. If I can try to help you, for me, that is a very, very good job. So right now, I've told you everything. So I guess the next thing I need to tell you is what tarot cards, where do they came from? What is the history behind it? Now, the history of tarot cards is a bit vague, okay? Some people say historically that the tarot cards emanated or started from the 14th century in northern Italy, when they were used as playing cards, just like our modern playing cards, and they were being used as just a modern playing cards. Then in the 16th, 17th century French Renaissance, they were used as divination tools to tap into the spiritual world. And I think from the Renaissance in French, this is where we got the link between tarot cards and Egyptian mysticism. There is almost some kind of a link between them, the tarot cards, and everything in the Egyptian mystery schools. But again, this is allegedly speaking, this is questionable, but to be quite honest, if you ask me, tarot cards transcends every civilization. They transcend time. They transcend time, place, or geographical location, because we are talking about a spiritual revelation of what's going on into your life, because you can put time and place for to that. So really, to be quite honest, it does not matter where they originated from, whether they originated in the 14th century in Italy, 17th century French Renaissance, or whether they originated in Egyptian mysticism. It really does not matter. What matters is that you are tapping into your spiritual self. I think that's you get great pleasure in it. That. So now I think I've kind of like explained everything to you about tarot cards, and the next thing I just want to say to you, I'm going to have a special page dedicated on Facebook page dedicated to tarot card reading, tarot card knowledge, and we're going to do a live chat, and we're going to do a live reading of the cards, so at least you can get spiritual guide on what's happening into your life, that kind of thing. So the cards themselves, right? I've got two sets of cards. The cards that I bought about 3 to 4 years ago, what I call the Reed Howard card. The Reed Howard card, okay? This is the case, the Reed Howard card, and they look like this, right? I got these cards about 3 to 4 years ago, and I call them the Reed Howard card because Reed is the one that wrote the cards, what's written, the meanings to the cards, and Howard is the illustrator. So I just call it the Reed Howard card. I got this about 3 years ago, and I got them online, and for some reason they were just calling for me, and I just had an automatic connection with them, because for some reason they just attracted me to them, and I just love them. But in the tarot card reading professionally, most people use these cards, which are called the Rider-Waite tarot card. Okay, this is the Rider-Waite tarot deck. Okay, this is the original, and this is what most tarot cards professional use. So I prefer to use both of them. The initial card that I bought before, the deck of cards that I bought, and I use the standard Rider-Waite tarot cards here. Right, so this session I'm not going to tell you more about the cards. I'm not going to get into the cards. I'm going to get into that the next video. So this is just an introduction. So I'm going to give you a quick intro about the cards themselves. Okay, the cards themselves, all of them, it's about 78 of them, 78 tarot cards, and they are divided into two. They are divided into what are called the major arcana cards and the minor arcana cards. The major arcana cards is about 26 of them. The minor arcana cards is about 56 of them. And the minor arcana cards are further divided into what are called suits. And the suits are the cups, the pentacles, the swords, and the wands. So that's the cups, the pentacles, the swords, and the wands. And they start from the ace, or which is 1 to 10. Okay, so you will have, for example, ace of cup, right? This is in the suits of the cup, and they go all the way to 10 of cups. Okay, so they are divided into 4 suits, but the cards themselves, the suits themselves, are divided into what are called the court cards, and the court cards are it's almost 4 of them in every suit. Okay, for example, in the suit of cups, you've got the page of cups here, right? And they go all the way. So you've got the page, you've got the queen of cups, you've got the king of cups, right? And you've got the knight of cups. Okay, and the same thing applies into this the suit of the pentacles. Again, you will have the page of pentacles. You'll have the knight of pentacles. Okay, you'll have the queen of pentacles, and you'll have lastly the king of pentacles. And again, same thing goes to the swords. I'll quickly show you. You've got the page of swords here, right? And you have the knight of swords. You have the queen of swords, and you have the king of swords. And last but not least, it is the wands. So you've got the page of wands. You've got the knight of wands. You've got the king of wands, and you've got the queen of wands. So like I said, the suits themselves is about 4 of them, and every suit has got a different psychological or spiritual meaning to it. Okay, so you've got the cups, you've got the pentacles, you've got the swords, you've got the wands. So I'm gonna go into detail next time, so I do not need to be confusing it. But we are talking about every suit represents either action, ideas, intuition, emotions, and manifestation. Okay, so we are talking about ideas, we're talking about intuition, we're talking about feelings, your emotions, and manifestation. Manifestation, most of the time, it is the pentacles. So really, every single card is trying to tell you. And the ones, the court cards themselves, they normally talk about personality. For example, like the kind of person in your life, the kind of persons who are attached to you, or who you shouldn't be attached to. Do you know what I'm saying? So they kind of tell you about personality. But like I said to you, we're going to get into that in more detail. This is just an introduction to what the cards themselves are. I did tell you about the major arcana cards. A major arcana, like I said to you, is about 22 of them, right? Major arcana, is the name will probably give it away. It's all about what's happening, life-changing situations in your life. So whenever a major arcana card come into your reading or into your spread, you need to pay attention to it, because these are life-changing events. Your spiritual self is trying to tell you something that is of significance, that is possibly life-changing, whether it's your health, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your finance, whether it's your career development, or whatever. It will tell you something that is really, really paramount, so you need to pay attention to it. If one of the suits comes into your reading, this is an everyday today mundane things. For example, what am I going to do today? What might happen to me tomorrow? That kind of. These are things that you've got control, 100% control of. So you can change the trajectory of where everything is going. But the major arcana cards, most of the time, you've got no control of the situation. But you need to be aware of it, so that you can make the right decisions. Okay, this is another myth that we need to break away. The tarot cards, they are not there for fortune telling. They're not going to tell you you're going to win so much money or you're going to have so much money in a bank account. No, tarot cards are there to guide you so that you make the right decision, because ultimately you still be in charge of whatever you're doing, but the tarot cards themselves, they give you a guidance so that you make the right choice or the right decisions. And you understand what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna take you through very quickly through the major arcana cards. So the tarot cards themselves, they start off with what's called a fool. And why is it called a fool? A fool really is it's a soul's journey, because when we are brought into this world as a baby, right, we come here, we start off on a clean slate. We are given a blank piece of paper, and everything that we're going to experience, everything that we're going to go to, everything that we're going to, the decisions that you're going to make, everything is dependent on what we are doing. But really, right from the beginning, we are given a clean slate or blank piece of paper. So that's why we start off with the fool, right? Now, a fool, even though it's called a fool, but it is the innocence behind it, right? So whenever you see the card fool, we're talking about the beginning, we're talking about the freedom, we're talking about originality, adventure, idealism, spontaneity. So whenever this card comes on your reading, those are the things that you need to be looking into. So right, so I'm just looking at something here very quick. Right, so yes, so this is the fool here. The next card, right, so this is the fool on the Rider-Waite card. All right, the next card is the Magician. Right, now the Magician, when this card comes into your reading, this is the Magician here on the tarot, or the Rider-Waite tarot card deck, right? You can see here. Now the Magician. When you look at the Magician, we're talking about willpower, we're talking about desire, we're talking about creation and manifestation. So if this card comes into your reading, those are the things that you need to be looking up to: willpower, desire, creation, manifestation, because you are the Magician. You are in control of the situation. Okay. The next card that we're gonna look into the major arcana is the High Priestess. Right. Now the High Priestess. Right. Oh, hold on 2 seconds. Right, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna look at something here, so because I want to get everything right here. Okay. Right, yeah. So the High Priestess, yeah. So these are my cards here, and these are the Rider-Waite tarot deck card here, the High Priestess. Right, now whenever you come here with the High Priestess, you're talking about intuitive, you're talking about the unconscious, the inner voice, right? So when this card comes into your reading, you need to tap in and listen to your inner voice. What's your inner voice saying? What is it saying? Okay. The next card is the Empress, right? This is the Empress here. She is over there. So whenever this card comes along into your reading, we are talking about motherhood. We're talking about fertility. We're talking about nature. Okay, so we are talking about somebody guiding you, somebody nurturing you. Okay, so this is what the card is all about. So the next card, it is the Emperor. We're just going to go through quickly with them. So this is the Emperor. Emperor Saturn is thrown there. And that's my card over there. And this is the Rider-Waite tarot deck Emperor. So when you talk about emperor, you're talking about authority, you're talking about structure, we're talking about control, we're talking about fatherhood. So these are the ideas, or these are the archetypes that are coming through your reading. Okay, so that's the emperor. The next card is the Hierophant. Okay, the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant, we are talking about tradition, conformity, morality, ethics. So these are the things that comes up in your reading. Talking about tradition, conformity, morality, ethics. You're talking about your behavior, and possibly getting into a tradition, going back to your spiritual self. Okay, the Hierophant, to those who know, the Hierophant in Egypt's mysticism, or in the Egypt mystery schools, the Hierophant was a teacher, and the Hierophant used to teach the neophytes. Now the neophytes were students, so the Hierophant is a master, somebody who knows, who understands things. So whenever this card comes into your spreading, it's almost like trying to take you back to your traditional self, your spiritual self, because it is your spiritual self that understands and knows things better than your ego self. Okay, so in other words, trying to take it easy, trying to calm down, trying to sit back and trying to reflect whatever situation that you are going through. So this is kind of like a reading that you might get with a Hierophant. So the next card is the Lovers, right? As you can see, the Lovers over there. Now, whenever you get the Lovers on your reading, we're talking about partnerships, duality. We're talking about union, okay? Partnership, duality, union. And a Lovers is also a crossroad when you have to make the right decision. So whenever you get the card, the Lovers on your spreading is asking you, your spiritual self is trying to tell you, you need to make the right decisions. You need to pick the right option for you, and whatever situation or option that you're going to pick from is going to be determined of your destination. So that's the Lovers there for you. And relationship wise, yes, it's talking about duality and a union. So yeah, the next card is the Chariot, right? When you've got the Chariot on your reading, the Chariot is trying to give you direction, control, willpower. Is trying to give you that carefree situation where you are in total control, and you are the only person that can make the decisions. Only you. That is what the Chariot is all about. Okay. So the next card is Strength. Now, when you talk about strength, we are talking about inner strength. We are talking about bravery, compassion, and being focused. Okay, as you can see from right, where is the strength? Right, hold up, I think I got this wrong. Okay, strength is actually here. Right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So the strength is actually here. Okay, right, this is the strength. Right, that's the Rider-Waite tarot card there. Okay, strength. And if you look at the picture, if you look at actually the allegorical symbols on the card, what do we see? You see a young lady. She's got a lion right on the floor, right, and she's got a lion right over it, and that shows strength. That shows a bravery. So whenever you get this card in your reading, your spiritual self is trying to tell you to be brave, to have no fear. Whatever situation that you're going to go through, do not be scared. You need to have brave and understand that you're going to go through and you're going to conquer that situation. So this is the archetype that is being referred to on this card. Or the next card is right. The next card is Justice, right? Okay, let me sort this out here. The next card is Justice, right? Now, Justice. Right, okay. Okay, sorry. I beg your pardon here, yeah? The next card actually is the Hermit. It is the Hermit, right? So, this is the Hermit. Chronologically, the next card is the Hermit, and the Hermit is all about contemplation. It is about searching for truth and inner guardians. Okay, so whenever this card comes through on your reading, it's asking you, your spiritual self is telling you to contemplate, telling you to search for truth and search for that inner guardians. Okay, that's what this card is trying to tell you if it comes on your reading. So that is the Hermit. The next card is